Welcome to the deep dive. We cut through the noise to get you the insights that matter.
Glad to be here.
Today, we're jumping into something really critical for a huge part of our economy. Fleet profitability. We're talking 2025.
Right. And specifically, how businesses that move things could be anything. Packages, people, you name it, are dealing with fuel costs.
Exactly, because fuel prices, well, they've been on a real roller coaster this year, haven't they? Up one week, down the next. It's unpredictable.
Totally unpredictable. And fuel is, it's consistently one of the absolute biggest line items for these companies. A huge chunk of their operating costs.
So how are they managing? How are they staying profitable when this major cost is swinging all over the place? That's what we're diving into.
Yep. We've gone through quite a stack of sources, reports, industry analysis, articles, looking at how businesses are delivering everything from, groceries to gadgets and still making it work financially.
Okay, maybe we should quickly define what we mean by a fleet, just to be clear.
Good idea. So basically, a fleet is just a group of vehicles, could be trucks, vans, buses, whatever the company owns or leases. They all work together.
Right, like think about Amazon or UPS. They can't deliver millions of packages with just one van, right? They need hundreds, maybe thousands. That's a fleet.
Exactly. Or a city bus system, that's a fleet too.
Got it. Now, why is fuel, diesel, gasoline so expensive, or at least so volatile in 2025? What's driving that?
Well, it comes down to a few big things, as usual. First, global events always play a role. Conflicts, natural disasters, political tensions, they can all mess with the oil supply chain.
Okay, so geopolitics.
Yep. Then there's basic supply and demand.
Ah.
How much oil is being pumped versus how much the world wants. And sometimes there are bottlenecks, like problems at refineries, where the crude oil actually gets turned into the fuel we use.
Right, so a refinery issue can suddenly spike prices in one region.
Exactly. All this uncertainty makes fuel a massive headache and expense for fleet operators.
Okay, so our mission for this deep dive is pretty clear then. We want to unpack the smart strategies, the clever ways these companies, these experts are tackling these fuel costs and staying profitable right now in 2025.
That's the plan. Make it easy to understand how they're navigating this.
All right, let's get into those strategies. Where do we start? What's number one?
Well, a really big one, consistently mentioned, is simply using more fuel-efficient vehicles. Sounds obvious, maybe, but the tech has come a long way.
So trucks and vans that just sip fuel instead of guzzling it?
Pretty much. We're talking about designs that are much more aerodynamic, smoother shapes that cut through the wind better.
Less drag.
Right. Plus, they're using lighter materials, composites and alloys that reduce the overall weight of the truck or van without sacrificing strength. Lighter vehicle, less fuel needed to move it.
Okay, ship and weight. What about the engine itself?
Big improvements there, too.
Mm-hmm.
Modern engines are just much better at converting fuel into power efficiently. Less waste heat, better combustion.
So taken together, what kind of difference does this actually make? Is it noticeable?
Oh, definitely. Our sources suggest that a new truck rolling off the line in 2025 might use something like 20% less fuel than a similar truck from, say, 2015.
20%? Wow. Over the life of a truck, that's a huge savings.
It's massive, especially for companies running vehicles hundreds of thousands of miles. It fundamentally changes the cost equation.
Okay, so better traditional vehicles is strategy one. What's next? Are we talking electric?
We are. That's strategy number 2.
Yeah.
The shift towards electric and hybrid trucks and vans, it's really accelerating.
So pure electric first. How does that work for, like, big trucks?
Well, they run entirely on large battery packs. You plug them in, charge them up. Zero gasoline or diesel used, which also means zero tailpipe emissions. Great for air quality, especially in cities.
But range can still be a concern for some, right? Long haul.
It can be, although battery tech is improving fast. But that's where hybrids come into. They use a gasoline engine and an electric motor.
How does that help?
They're particularly good in cities, lots of starting and stopping. The electric motor handles the low speeds, regeneration captures braking energy, and the gas engine kicks in when needed, like on the highway. Better mileage overall.
And there's an extra angle here, too, isn't there, with governments?
Absolutely. Many governments are offering pretty significant tax breaks or incentives to encourage companies to buy these greener vehicles. That helps offset the higher initial purchase price.
So it's not just the fuel savings, it's the upfront cost getting easier to swallow, too. Makes sense. Okay, strategy 3. Let's talk about driving. Getting lost, stuck in traffic that wastes a ton of fuel.
It really does. And that's where advanced route planning comes in, using sophisticated GPS systems.
More than just Google Maps on a phone, I assume?
Oh yeah, much more. These are specialized systems for commercial vehicles. They don't just find the shortest route. They factor in real-time traffic, like you said, but also things like weather, road closures, even the elevation changes on a route.
Elevation, why does that matter?
Hills use more fuel, so the system might find a slightly longer but flatter route that actually burns less diesel. It also helps drivers avoid traffic jams proactively, not just react to them.
And less time sitting still in traffic means less idling, right?
Exactly. Idling when the engine's running but the truck isn't moving is a huge fuel waster. These systems help minimize that by keeping trucks moving on the most efficient path available at that moment. Less time on the road equals less fuel burned. Simple as that.
Okay, smart tech planning the route. What about the person actually doing the driving? How much control do they have over fuel use?
A surprising amount. And that's strategy 4, driver training. It's often highlighted as, relatively low cost, but with a really high impact.
So teaching drivers how to drive more efficiently.
Precisely. It's not just about safety, though that's part of it. It's about specific techniques. Things like avoiding aggressive acceleration and hard braking. Smooth inputs save fuel.
Gentle on the pedals. What else?
Avoiding speeding is a big one. Fuel consumption goes way up at higher speeds. Using cruise control on highways helps maintain a steady, efficient speed. And, crucially, training drivers to turn off the engine instead of idling for long periods.
If they're waiting for a pickup or something.
Right. If it's more than a minute or two, shutting off the engine often saves fuel compared to letting it idle.
And do these habits really add up?
They really do. One source, looking at a specific fleet manager's experience, estimated that getting drivers to consistently use these techniques could save thousands of dollars in fuel costs per driver every single year.
Wow. Thousands per driver. That scales up incredibly fast across a whole fleet. Shows the human element is still vital.
Absolutely critical.
Okay, so we've got efficient vehicles, EV hybrids, smart routes, and trained drivers. What about the fuel itself? How fleets actually buy it? Is there a strategy there?
Yes, definitely. Strategy 5 is all about smart fuel purchasing. Think bulk buying and discount cards, but often on a much more sophisticated level.
Like Costco for diesel.
Sort of. Big companies, because they buy such huge volumes of fuel, can often negotiate better prices directly with suppliers. They might lock in rates with contracts.
Ah, okay. Hedging against price jumps.
Exactly. Some even engage in fuel hedging, kind of like trading futures, to protect themselves from sudden spikes. And they use specialized fuel cards.
Not just the loyalty card from the local gas station.
No, these cards often provide significant discounts. But more importantly, they're linked to systems that track fuel prices at thousands of stations in real time.
So the system tells the driver where the cheapest fuel is right now on their route.
Precisely. It directs them to the most cost-effective place to fill up, optimizing purchase price on top of consumption. It's a whole financial layer.
That is really strategic. Okay, that leads us neatly into the final strategy we're covering, which feels very 2025, using data and technology to monitor everything.
Right. This is where telematics comes in. That's strategy 6.
Telematics. Sounds fancy. What is it?
It's basically small computers and sensors installed in the vehicles. They collect and transmit a ton of data. We're talking location, speed, mileage, yes, but also, crucially, detailed fuel consumption.
So you know exactly how much fuel each truck is using, practically gallon by gallon.
Even more granular than that sometimes. It can track engine performance, idling time, harsh braking events, even things like tire pressure, which also impacts fuel economy.
So managers back at the office can see all this data.
Yep. They get dashboards and reports that highlight inefficiencies. Maybe one truck is using way more fuel than identical trucks on similar routes that could signal a maintenance issue. Or maybe a driver has a habit of excessive speeding or idling.
So you can spot problems really quickly.
Exactly, and fix them. It essentially turns every vehicle into a smart truck that's constantly feeding back data for optimization. It allows for really precise management of fuel use across the entire fleet.
Okay, those are 6 pretty powerful strategies. Let's zoom out a bit. We've talked about how fleets save money, but why should this matter to, someone listening right now who maybe doesn't run a fleet?
That's a great question, because the impact is actually pretty broad. It ripples out. First, obviously, when these businesses save money on fuel, it helps them stay profitable, maybe even grow, hire more people. That's good for the economy overall.
Makes sense. Business health.
Second, there's the environmental angle. Using less fuel, especially shifting to electric, means fewer greenhouse gas emissions, less pollution. That benefits everyone. Cleaner air helps with climate change goals.
Better for the planet. Got it.
Third, remember the smarter route planning. That often means things get delivered faster and more reliably, so your online orders might show up quicker.
Faster deliveries. Always nice.
And fourth, maybe the most direct impact for you, the listener, lower prices. Fuel's a major cost component for transporting goods. When fleets manage that cost effectively, it helps keep the final price of those goods down.
So the efficiency savings on the truck ultimately help keep prices lower on the shelf or for the service being delivered.
That's the idea. It reduces inflationary pressure coming from transportation costs. So yes, the price you pay for groceries, clothes, electronics, almost everything is influenced by how efficiently fleets manage their fuel.
Okay, that really connects the dots. So, quick recap then. Fleets in 2025 are being really smart about fuel. They're using
Right. More fuel-efficient trucks and vans. They're switching over to electric and hybrid options, helped by incentives.
they're using advanced GPS for smarter routes, cutting down wasted miles and idling.
They're training drivers in fuel-saving techniques. Smooth driving, no speeding, less idling.
They're buying fuel smarter in bulk using discount networks.
And they're tracking everything with telematics, using data to pinpoint and fix inefficiencies.
It's quite a combination, isn't it? Technology, planning, better vehicles, skilled people, all working together.
It really is. It shows that even though fuel will likely always be a challenge, companies are getting incredibly creative and resourceful in managing it.
So next time you see a delivery truck out on the road, maybe think about all that's going on behind the scenes. The tech, the training, the planning, all to save fuel and keep things moving efficiently.
Definitely. And it leaves us with a final thought, maybe something for you to ponder. If you were running a fleet today, with fuel prices doing what they're doing, which of these strategies would you lean into first?
Good question. Would you go big on buying new, super efficient or electric trucks? Or focus on training your existing drivers? Maybe invest heavily in the data, the telematics.
Think like a fleet manager. Where would you place your bet? Because in this game, every decision really does count towards staying profitable.